Hey y'all, back again with another video. I'm in the kitchen, obviously. I haven't had cookies in a while, and I usually don't make cookies like that. I have to really have a taste for the cookies, and I do have taste for cookies. So I'm doing the eggs, but this is egg replacer I'm using, and this is the eggs I have. I don't the other brand I usually use egg replacer. What is it called? I forgot the other brand, but this is the brand I've been using. Do I have the other brand in here? This is my cabinet for all my bacon. You know, like everything bacon. You know, like the ingredients. You know. I put everything separate from my regular seasons. I leave everything in this cabinet. I would show y'all, but it needs to be, I don't know why I got this top on. I don't know. Anywho, yeah, I would show y'all it, but it needs to be clean. So, yeah, I need to clean it out. That's weird. Okay. It's probably not where it's supposed to be. But it's okay. So today I'm making chocolate chip cookies. So I took this I took the butter out this morning, and it's after 6. I think it was like, no, not this morning. I think I took it out like 1 or 2 p.m. and I let it sit out for like 4 hours, so it got room temperature. Now I let it sit in my kitchen because this is like one of the hottest rooms. I don't know about sitting it in, So we're using 1/3 cup of unsalted butter, room temperature, and I've made this before, so we're just going to, I'm just going to be making, the cookie dough. I have a taste for some cookies, and it's not often that I have a taste for cookies. Not often. I'm more likely to have a taste for some cake, but cookies, I don't know. Cookies is a different type of cookies is a different type of snack. Like a different type of beast, I should say, because cakes are easier for me to make. I'm using light brown sugar. Light brown sugar. My way. You can use light brown sugar or dark brown sugar. Oh, that. I look like that. Light brown sugar. Yep. That's what I'm using. I know, I'm supposed to have all my ingredients out. I gotta get a container like this for my brown sugar. But the thing about brown sugar, you gotta keep it in a plastic bag or we'll get brick, like brick. Yep. Oh, Echo, 1 minute.
1 minute. 1 minute.
So that was brown sugar and white granulated sugar. Okay. This is equivalent to 1 whole egg. This is equivalent to 1 whole egg. Even though cookies are easier to make, I just prefer to make cake. But cookies are genuinely easy to make. You know? All you gotta do, but some people frost their cookies. I don't. Typically don't. I said typically. I usually don't. You know, it depends. If you're making sugar cookies, that's different. But I'm making chocolate chip cookies, so I should do double chocolate chip cookies. Throw a little bit of this in it, like maybe a tablespoon of it in it. Double chocolate chip cookies, just like my double chocolate chip cake. Yeah, this is what I use in my double chocolate chip cake. And this is what I'm using. This is what I use because it's free of things that I'm allergic to. It don't have no soy in it. You know. Shout out to this company because I've been using this company for 10 years. 10 years this year. Was it 10 years or maybe 9 years? It could be 9 years. 10 years. All I know is that I've been using this for over, 8 years. About 9-10 years I've been using this. Was it 10 years? Yeah, it's been 10 years. Yeah, because I remember where I was living when I first found it, and it was I was living, and it was 2015. So yeah, because we moved here in the early part of 2016, so it had to be 2015 or around there somewhere, around there. Vanilla extract. Oh, I'm thirsty. Woo! I don't know why I took the top off. When this thing right here, it comes off like this. I don't know what I was thinking just now. This thing right here, I don't even remember the price I paid for it. But I remember the very first time I bought this, was, I think it was like, I don't even know. I can't even tell y'all that. I don't even know. I know it was under $10. But now this thing is like $20-something on Amazon. But when they have it like on sale, get it. Get it. Make sure you get it. So I got the 1 egg. So I got the 1 egg in here, one equivalent to 1 egg. Make sure it's room temperature. So I use warm water. I use warm water. I thought I had the purple one. So right before I started recording this video, it was 2 dogs behind this door right here. I think that's the building manager's dog, and they was crying. I'm like, oh, I didn't want that in my video. 2 dogs crying in the back thing, in the back. I'm in here recording. All you hear is 2 dogs crying, and then you think of that commercial with the sick dogs, and they playing that song, "In the Arms of an Angel." In the arms of the angel. That made me sad. I was like, I ain't gonna be, I ain't gonna make me think of that commercial. That ain't gonna make me think of that commercial. in the arm of an angel. That song is sad. With those injured dogs, and then you hear that song going. Yes.
Do you want the lactose-free vanilla?
No, the regular ice cream I get. Man, you know I don't get no lactose-free ice cream. Let me tell y'all what he did. My husband did. He turned off the deep freezer, right, to get rid of the ice, but did not take my ice cream out of the deep freezer. Now, you know when have y'all ever defrosted y'all freezer and left ice cream in there and the ice cream melted, and then when it froze again, it's never the same? Yeah, so he out there getting me another one. Cause I ain't get to finish. Okay, 2 cups of gluten-free flour for me. So yeah, like I was saying, them dogs crying, remind me of that song. That commercial with the injured dogs. I wonder if they still play that commercial. But 9 out of 10 ain't the same dogs in there that's on the commercial that they, they gone. That was like in the 90s or something like that. I'm like, oh. So they probably don't play that. They probably changed the dogs. Which I think they should, because if you talking about donate money to help rescue these dogs or help these dogs, you need to have new dogs, but them same dogs ain't the same dogs from the 90s in that video. They gone. They gone. They gone. Oh yeah, let me tell y'all something. So you could substitute baking soda for baking powder, or baking powder for baking soda. Nope, because I'm out of baking powder. But I just recently ordered some. Because this usually lasts me a long time. But the amount of cakes I've been making and the amount of pancake mix I've been making, this been going super duper fast. Which normally don't go that fast, because I normally don't make that much cake or or pancake waffle mix. But this been going fast. So to substitute for baking soda for this, you have to use 1/4 teaspoon. For every teaspoon of baking powder, you have to use 1/4 teaspoon of baking soda. I didn't know you can do that. Well, I should have known, because I've been using baking soda when I started baking, and I substitute baking powder for, So you need one of these. This is 1/4 teaspoon of, 1/4 teaspoon spoon, sorry. So for every 1 teaspoon of baking powder, I hope y'all can see that. It looks like it's a glare. So for every 1 teaspoon of baking powder, you will use 1/4 teaspoon of baking soda. So now the recipe says, hold up, this is confusing. I'm going to confuse y'all. If the recipe says 1 tablespoon of baking powder, 1 teaspoon of baking powder. If the recipe says 1 teaspoon of baking powder, and you don't have no baking powder, and if the recipe says 2 teaspoons of baking powder, you will need 1/2 teaspoon of baking soda. For every 2 tablespoons or every teaspoon of baking powder, right? Okay, I'm confusing y'all, right? Sorry about this. If you come across a recipe that says 1 tablespoon, I said tablespoon, this is teaspoon, 1 teaspoon of baking powder, you can use 1/4 teaspoon of baking soda. right? Because baking soda is stronger than baking powder. I didn't know that. I always thought baking powder was stronger than baking soda. But baking soda, I should have did this on a separate video. This should have been a whole separate video. I'm going to have to do this in another separate video. Oh, I don't know how to edit, stuff like, well, I do. But yeah, for every one, okay, y'all with me? So the recipe says 2 teaspoons, 2 of these, of baking soda, baking powder, and you don't have baking powder, you can sub it for a half a teaspoon. Okay? Because remember, 1/4 plus 1/4 is a half a teaspoon. So 2 of these, 1/4 teaspoon makes 1 of these, because this is a half a teaspoon. So of baking soda. So if the recipe says 2 teaspoons of baking powder and you don't have baking powder, use a half a teaspoon of baking soda. Boom. Still gonna do that in a separate video. But this recipe right here says 1 teaspoon of baking soda, and I have baking soda. So let's go. Now if I wasn't recording, this would have been done already. Then I gotta let this sit in the refrigerator for an hour before I can bake it. Okay. I don't know why this is still in here. Okay. Oh. Let's open this semi. Where is the? Ooh. Let's open this. Okay. Oh, don't do that. I gotta get me a backup one, another hand mixer. I gotta get me a backup, because I had this one for a long time, and I've lost 2 hand mixers since I had this one. Yep. Because those other hand mixers don't be working for those thick recipes. Them thick batters, them thick, as expensive as this, I'm not going to put it in there. Oh, I hate to waste it. Oh, so yeah. Yeah, I'm going to do a separate video on that. So this is my homemade. I decided not to do the double chocolate chip cookie. We just keep that for the cake. I'm going to try that one day though, but, oh. We need every morsel of that. Yeah. I hope I didn't lose y'all with that, substitution and stuff, like, with the baking soda and the baking powder. But I'm going to do that in a separate video. And yeah, I'm going to do that in a separate video. Because some people don't know that you can't. I don't know if you can substitute, you can substitute baking powder with baking soda, but I don't know if you can substitute baking soda for baking powder, or can you? Yes, you can. I just said that. You know what I'm trying to say. So I'm gonna put this in a bowl, and I'm gonna put this in the refrigerator for 1 hour, and we'll be back for part 2. Okay. Go get a bowl. It was hot. It was getting hot. So, I'm gonna put my cookie dough bowl. People be using it for other stuff. I make sure I label it and be like, it's just for this purpose only. I'm always in here doing something. Like yesterday, I was just in here making my chili oil. Ooh. I put it in a big jar. Instead of 2 little jars, I use 1 big jar. I use the old, sometimes you just, oh wait. Hold on, because I always forget to do this step. Hold on. This is a big jar of my chili garlic oil. I used the pineapple spears jar. Okay. So I'm gonna let this sit in the refrigerator so I can take this out about 8 o'clock, because it's like 6:57 right now. Cookie dough. See, I don't know how it would taste if I add this to it. I don't know. Should I add a teaspoon of this? But I already mixed it all in there. Next time. Gotta make sure you get it in there. Get it like a ball. This part, and you can add more chocolate chips to it if you want, or less if you want. I don't know how. Do I know how this tastes without chocolate? Yeah, I don't like it. I don't like it. So put this in the refrigerator. Cover it for 1 hour. Bam. All right, y'all. See y'all in part 2. Gotta let this sit in the refrigerator for 1 hour, and then take it out and let it sit on the counter for 10 minutes, and then you can make your cookies. My husband said he want the deep dish. The only thing I don't like about these pans is that sometimes they'll get stuck to the bottom of the pan, and you got to twist it out. But yeah, we'll see. Can I get 2 in here at one time? Never did that before. And I made me some more brown sugar butter syrup. Let me see. Can I get 2 in here? See, this oven was not supposed to be the main oven. Nope. I have another rack, but I don't know where I put it. Could have had them both, like one on top and one on the bottom. But next time I'll try it with the cocoa powder in it. But yeah, y'all. Gluten-free chocolate chip cookies.